When you look at this moment in arms control, what would you compare it to historically in terms of where we stand and what lies ahead?
Well, I think the 50s and 60s come to mind with a comparison in this respect. Although we were way ahead of the Russians, we weren't confident after they set off their own nuclear weapon because they had, we thought, lots of conventional troops, more than we did in Europe. So we didn't feel comfortable about striking a deal until two things happened. When it became clear that we did have an overwhelming comparative advantage, both nuclear and in other ways, and the Cuban Missile Crisis kind of snapped us into real attention to the need to get going on some kinds of limits. So it could be that we will need a lot of time to get a comparative advantage in our confidence back. And it could be that we'll need, unfortunately, some terrible event and some near history to get us going. So that's one similarity. The dissimilarities, however, are that the parties that we are negotiating with now may have to include the Chinese, and for all we know, in the future, India comes to mind, and if our allies get nuclear weapons, they'll be drawn in as well. Finally, what we're negotiating about isn't just nuclear warheads anymore. I mean, we always negotiated a little bit about space, and we had an missile agreement, although we call it a nuclear missile agreement in the INF. But I think these things are going to become domains of their own, separate from nuclear weapons. So things are changing in a pretty dramatic way, certainly if you look out the next decade or more.